How many animals do you rescue from the street every month or every year, if you know?
I couldn't tell you monthly dates, but it's from the streets, except it's a stray animal, which we don't deal normally with healthy stray animals. Local stray dogs are the responsibility of the local police or local authority. Stray cats, if they're healthy, we leave them where they are. But last year, ones that were genuine strays, we reunited over 653 with their owners. But the majority of animals that we take in are where people can no longer care for them, or where inspectors deem that they can't stay and they've been seized as part of whether it's a court case or for various other reasons.
And what kind of animal are you taking care of?
Obviously, we deal with every type of domestic animal. We also deal with wildlife. If it's wildlife that's injured or in a situation of danger, we will take it in on the understanding that we can rehabilitate it and put it back to the wild. We don't keep wild animals in lifelong care. And I think last year we released just about 7,000 back into the wild. And that's everything from small mammals up to big birds of prey. The majority of animals we deal with are basically domestic dogs and cats, but you name it, whether it's reptiles, birds, horses, we've got all of those types of species in our centres.
And what advice would you give someone who wants to adopt an animal?
Regardless of whether somebody wants to adopt an animal or buy an animal, the advice is basically the same. You should only be taking on an animal of any kind if it suits your lifestyle and you've got the financial means and time to care for it. If you take a pup from us, depending on their breed, they can last anywhere from 9 to 17 years. That's a long-term commitment. People should not be taking on stuff just because, oh, Christmas is coming up, or we're in lockdown. We've got plenty of time at the moment, because people do return to normal lives, and they've got to accept that animals still got to suit their lifestyle when they return to a normal life.
Okay, and I wanted to know, what would you say to someone who wants to buy an animal as a present? Would you recommend it?
Absolutely not. It's not. Animals are never as a present. The person who's taking the animal on should be making the decision. You can't just foist a kitten or a pup on somebody and expect them to like it. As I say, it's got to suit the owner's lifestyle, not somebody that's just trying to give a nice little gift.
And are you allowing people to adopt pets during the Christmas period?
In normal years, we don't. We don't adopt any young animals. It would basically be from the 22nd till about the 28th. And it's just to make sure that nobody wakens up on Christmas morning with a puppy under the Christmas tree or anything like that. But people can still visit our site, our website, and reserve animals, but we just don't encourage people to take. You've also got to remember, in normal years, a household is not a normal place at Christmas. People come in and go in, and this year obviously it's different. But we'll never put people off, but we just wouldn't be accepting them to collect it on Christmas Eve.
And is there a rise of abandonment after Christmas period or holidays, or is it the same during the whole year?
In normal times, it's normally the Christmas kind of period normally affects us at the end of January, beginning of February. And that's when the animal starts to grow up, starts damaging the house and all that kind of stuff. And people go back to school and work, and they realise, oh, well, I'm having to leave the dog 9 hours a day, and my neighbours are complaining because it barks and things like that. So there's always a little spike then. We've not had that this year because everybody's in lockdown, but we're expecting a huge rise when everybody gets back to normal, which I hope will be about March or April. So we're expecting a lot of problems then, and that'll be from people that got a pup last April. It's going to be nearly a year old by the time the owners go back to work. It's never known anything but having people in the house all the time. So it's going to cause behavioural problems with animals. So we're expecting an upsurge then.
And what advice would you give someone who wants to adopt an animal?
Whether you're adopting, which we would always prefer people do, or actually buying an animal, the criteria is the same. You should only be taking on an animal of any kind if it suits your lifestyle and you've got the financial means and time to care for it. If you take a pup from us, depending on their breed, they can last anywhere from 9 to 17 years. That's a long-term commitment. People should not be taking on stuff just because, oh, Christmas is coming up, or we're in lockdown. We've got plenty of time at the moment, because people do return to normal lives, and they've got to accept that animals still got to suit their lifestyle when they return to a normal life.
And do you have any last recommendation or something you would like to add to what you already said?
I just advise everybody to be safe. Do not buy any animal, and it doesn't matter if it's a pup, a kitten, or whatever, over the internet without actually knowing the home address and details of the person that's selling it. A lot of the pups that are being sold just now, if the advert online looks too good, it is. I saw one the other week for a golden retriever pup for £600. You cannot buy the poorest looking animal for £600 at the moment. So that was fake. If you're replying to an advert on the internet, look at the phone number. If it's a mobile number, just put it into a search engine, and it'll tell you if that number's ever been used to sell other pups. And that way you can tell if it's just somebody that's dealing in animals. Because the profit is so high, people are getting conned day in and day out. And our big worry is a lot of the animals that are being sold are incredibly ill. Spoke to a lady 2 weeks ago. She had spent £2,500 on a pup, and in 5 weeks she had £4,500 worth of vet fees. And the last fee was to put the animal to sleep because it was so ill. So that's £7,000 wasted. Her biggest concern is her son will never ever want another pup. The son had fallen in love with this pup, and it literally died in front of his eyes. So you've got horrible animal welfare, you've got human welfare there. So just please, everybody, be aware, whether it's Christmas or the lockdown period, just be very careful.